everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a Q&A style video. I asked you guys to ask me some questions and with the end of the year rolling around, I thought it'd be a perfect time to kind of reflect on my past 2 years and share some insight with you guys. Something I regret or something I wish I would have done better in my past 2 years, and that would be to getting involved early. I wish I would have joined clubs earlier and made more connections earlier. I'm super happy with the stuff I'm doing now and the people I'm getting to know, but I think if I would have met them freshman year when people are trying to make friends, that my connections might have been stronger, or I would have just known a different side of them, things like that. This question was asked by someone who is going to be coming here next fall, so super excited that you could find my content and get to know a little bit more about Oregon State before you get here. I absolutely love Oregon State, not only because it is a large school and you get the large school experience in terms of huge sporting events, big lectures, and lots of clubs and different organizations on campus, but it also still feels really small, and I feel like I've made one-on-one connections with professors, and I feel comfortable enough to go to any of the tutoring centers, and I know there's a lot of help on campus for me. I think that's something I really like about Oregon State, which is all the tutoring centers and all the help and resources that there are. It is a little tricky to find all of them though, so I would say go to your advisor and they can print you a list of everything because they normally know most. The answer is 0 because sleep is way too important for me to be staying up all night. I have been to the library pretty late, to like 3 a.m. Crazy, but that's probably as late as I'll stay up studying. And my best advice to you to avoid an all-nighter is to do your work early and start studying early, because then you won't have to cram and pull an all-nighter. This kind of goes with my biggest regret of college, is not getting involved enough. And so if you are coming into college, whether you're a CS major or not, yeah, my best advice would be to get involved early, whether that be joining clubs, sororities, fraternities, going to events, organizations, and there are a list of over 300 clubs for Oregon State if you go on our website. I know it's not the same at every college because some colleges are smaller, but most likely any college will have something that fits for you, works for you. There's so many clubs that I could join and that I feel like I would fit in, but there's just not enough time, honestly. So with sororities and fraternities, you don't have to join a traditional one. You can join a cultural one or a like science, engineering one. They have all kinds of sororities and fraternities here on campus. I know the cultural sororities are really accepting into the LGBTQ plus community. Yeah, so if you are at all worried about things like that, just know there's always really accepting people on campus no matter what. I get asked this question all the time, and is computer science hard, or is college hard? And my one answer to this is it is as hard as you make it to be. If you're not studying, if you're not reading your textbook, if you're going out every night, if you decide to watch that new Netflix show instead of doing your homework or whatever, then of course it's going to be hard for you because you're not putting in the time and the effort to understand the material. But if you can find a balance between social life, work, and school, just try and be on top of your things. No one is perfect. A social life outside of school is kind of hard, especially for me in this past year. I was putting in a lot of effort, studying a lot, so I primarily hung out with the people that I had the same classes with, same major, and all the girls that were in my clubs and things like that, and not really anyone else, just because there was no time. You wake up, you go to class, you stay on campus to study, you come home, and you wake up and do it all over again. Yeah, I will say that living off campus definitely affects your social life. I think it is a little harder because in the dorms, you know, you could walk down the hall and make a new friend instantly. Being off campus, no one goes to each other's door and knocks and like introduces themselves. You totally could. It might be kind of weird. Playing tennis, doing DIY stuff like, you know, making a shirt, making a skirt, shopping when I have money, and also social media would be a hobby of mine. I really like networking and creating content, whether that be taking pictures, making videos, things like that. And it's always something I've wanted to do, and I'm so glad I'm doing it now. It is my favorite hobby. I think college really disciplined me because it gave me all the freedom where I was like, yeah, freedom, I'm gonna do whatever I want. This is gonna be great. And then I quickly realized with that freedom comes a lot of responsibility and you need to get your stuff together. And yeah. To be honest, I have no clue because I am working for a nonprofit this summer and I love the idea of getting women into technology and I love the idea of helping others, but I know I also want to work for a big company like Nike or Google, Microsoft, something like that, doing I don't know what. After I get some experience with a big name company or any company, that I will be definitely giving back to my community and the community of women in technology, and I definitely want to just help get more people into it and break the stereotypes and just inspire others to get involved in technology. I have mentioned this a few times before, but watching tutorials on YouTube and taking notes, and it's really hard to say how to study computer science in general because every class is different. So let's say my class is studying arrays or we're just getting into arrays. I would watch a simple video on YouTube about arrays and take notes, and always do my notes in color because it is more appealing for me to look back on. Definitely say taking notes on tutorials on YouTube, and also geeksforgeeks.org is really good. For my web development class, I wanted to learn how to put 3 pictures in a row, and they had a tutorial for that, and they have this one option where you can do it hands-on. So here I have how to sort strings in JavaScript, and they have an entire explanation about it, and then they have a snippet of code where you can actually press the edit button and you can go in and edit it yourself and try different things and see how that works, and you can run it with them. I know I did this a lot for my web development class. They have really good articles about web development, and so I would just practice on Geeks for Geeks, and then I would see, okay, I see how I can do it now, and I would go to Terminal. Some things would be different, but at least I had that base knowledge and they kind of taught me how to do it. Something that works for me is make sure you're eating really good meals with a lot of protein and like not junk food. And if that's not working, maybe try an energy drink. And something that I do is I isolate myself. If I really need to get my project done, I will go to the 6th floor of the library or rent a study room. Just sit there with your laptop and don't allow yourself to go onto YouTube. Don't allow yourself to watch Netflix in the background. Just start coding away. And if you get frustrated, like really frustrated, get up, go take a lap around, you know, wherever you're studying. Go outside, maybe text your friend the question that you have, but then come back to it, and most likely your brain will be like, oh, there's the error right there that you were staring at for 20 minutes and getting frustrated over. So breaks are important. I know something that my friend did is he deleted all of social media off of his phone. So if he wanted to check Instagram, he would have to go to Safari and then type in Instagram and then log in. And so it would really help him when he's studying that he doesn't, you know, just pick up his phone, see notifications. So if your phone is being a distraction, delete all social media apps. You can re-download them once you're done studying. Or, you know, leave your phone at home. I know that sounds scary in this day and age, like, a day without your phone. But if that's what you need to do, you should try it and see if it works for you. You should try to stop it before it happens. And obviously no one's perfect. Everyone feels stressed at some point in their life. If you're going through your pages and you're seeing like, okay, this class I have this assignment and that assignment, you know, things are piling up, really just put your laptop down and go for a run, call your mom, call your friend, just sit there and do nothing for a minute, just kind of meditate. But when you start to see things getting kind of crazy, try to relax. Something I do to prevent stress is starting my assignments super early, like right when they're assigned. I try to at least start them, because then future me goes to edit that or add more to it, and I'm relieved that, oh, past me wrote the first paragraph. But once you start doing it, you'll really thank yourself, and it'll really reduce the amount of stress. That one's a hard one to answer, just because I want to be real and I don't want to say you're going to get perfect 8 hours of sleep, because it's hard. There are, like, you go to bed at 1 or 2 and wake up at 8. It's really hard. So try your hardest is just my biggest piece of advice, would be try to go to bed early and try to wake up at a nice hour. But also knowing your body and knowing when to give it rest throughout the day too. If you have time to take a 30-minute nap, take it. So these two kind of go together. It's how do you overcome negative thoughts and get over hating coding. Negative thoughts, I would say surround yourself with really good people who understand what you're going through. So people who are in your major, who are in your clubs, you know, talk to a mentor, talk to your brothers, talk to your mom. Try and find about like 3 people that you know you can call and be like, hey, I think I just did awful on that physics test, I'm really upset, blah blah blah. Having someone that you can tell anything to, I think will really help you if you're having negative thoughts about your major and you need someone to talk to, because I will say the advisors here are not the best, and if you go to them and you say, hey, like, I'm not thinking, this isn't really going well, they'll be like, yeah, it's not, let's change your major, when really you should probably just push through and it was like one bad test score kind of thing. To get over hating coding, I would say find good projects, like on Geeks for Geeks. Find simple things that you may not know, like how to sort in JavaScript, and then, you know, teach yourself that little by little, because then harder things will become simpler for you. And just know, piece by piece, like, you don't need to try and do the hardest problem, and just going at your own speed and doing small projects. Honestly, I've kind of forgotten a few of the syntax and all of that, but I will be doing a series where I walk through loops and like what arrays are and lists and different things like that a little bit later in the summer. I will say whiteboard colored markers are perfect for that, because then you can erase, and I don't know if you guys saw in my last video, I was using a smartboard. Those are perfect. Making each line of code a different color, or that for loop is going to be red and that red for loop is inside of a big blue if statement, things like that to distinguish what loop is what. And like I always say, I watch YouTube videos to figure out the different syntax of different languages and things like that. I have the list of requirements right here. I'm going to just quickly speak on the few classes that I have taken from this, because about 7 of them are upper division classes that I have yet to take. But the other like 5, CS, the 160 series. So when I took it, it was really good, and you know, we learned C++ and a little bit of Java, and it wasn't too demanding. We had labs and we had lectures and we had assignments, and it was okay. Like, it was doable if you put in the work, but you don't also, it's not that much work, and there's so many TAs and so many office hours, it's crazy. But I will say that the instructors have changed, and so I don't really know how the 160 series is going right now. TAs are your best friend in the 160 series because you're gonna get more of a one-on-one learning experience because the professor is dealing with like 600 incoming computer science students. Data structures, I had Rob Hess. He is so sweet and he really wants you to learn the material. It was a really good class for me because I had a lot of friends in it, and so whenever I got stuck, I would text them and be like, hey, I don't really understand this, and someone would help me. So I would say that is a great class, but make friends because there's not that many TAs. And then the other one that I have taken is Elements of Discrete Math, which was a really hard math class, I'm not gonna lie, but for about 2 weeks I totally isolated myself and I almost aced the final. So I brought my F up to a B, but as you can see, like before the final, I was not doing so hot. The midterm was not good. I think the average was like a 60 something. That was a really tough class just because it is there's so much logic. Half of our test was multiple choice and there's like really tricky answers, you know, that you would think, oh, it's totally that, but it's not. But it is possible to do well. You just really have to read that textbook and really know the difference between certain things. But overall, I think a minor in computer science doesn't look that bad. It does look like work, but I mean, nothing worth having comes easy. So I hope that I was able to answer a few of the questions. I know I keep saying that I'm going to be doing tutorials and things like that, but I really am now that school is over. I'm in my 1 week course right now, but that is over on Friday. And yeah, so the next thing you guys are going to see is probably the ACW conference vlogs, which will be happening next week. And then I'm going to be working on renting out a space where I can make the videos, like little tutorials and things like that. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching and supporting my YouTube channel and my social media journey and all that. As always, if you guys have any questions, my Instagram will be down below.